see on FM 90.9.
Various platforms, including radio and social media portals. We welcome everyone here present with us and to members of the media and also to our viewing and listening audience. I am Warren Thompson, National Chairman of the People's Labour Party. This press conference will highlight our 6th annual National Convention and the public activities planned for which we invite you to participate from March 19th to March 27th, 2022. At this time, I will recognize at the head table the People's Labour Party National Party Leader and Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. Deputy National Party Leader, the Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet. The National Secretary, Ms. Martilla Williams. Director of Communications, Mr. Craig Tuckett. In the audience, we have members of the National Executive, along with the chairpersons of constituency groups, and also we welcome you. I will now invite Mr. Craig Tuckett to provide an overview of the People's Labour Party.
Thank you, Warren. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me take the opportunity to adopt the protocol so ably established by our party chairman, save and except to acknowledge our Prime Minister and political party leader and deputy political leader. The People's Labour Party, PLP affectionately known, was officially launched and announced to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis on Monday, the 17th of June, 2013, when it was at a press conference held at the Ocean Terrace Inn. We became a partner within Team Unity, and we are proud of our government's achievement. It has afforded Team Unity to change the political paradigm of our nation, to set aside political differences. And we of PLP place our motto at the guiding principle and at the heart of everything we do, putting people first. Our strong foundation and strong leadership has given us the tools that our country needs. Team Unity will continue to take us out of the shadow of the global pandemic, leading our country to a stronger, safer future. Our history is rich and diverse as we comprise of persons from all walks of life. We believe we are one people with a common destiny. As in the words of the late Lucky Dube, different colors, one people. Within the second article of our Constitution, our People's Labour Party pledges and is committed to 1, the maintenance and promotion of the rule of law. 2, a political culture of tolerance, mutual respect, civility, and enlightenment. 3, entrepreneurship, industriousness, and independent mindedness, and a vibrant and proactive private sector. We also believe and are committed to providing social safety nets for the needy and for those who are most challenged. We want to, and is important for us, to end political and all other forms of tribalism in the Federation, promoting mutual respect and a dignified way of debating national issues. We also believe in inclusivity and the eradication of all forms of discrimination against all people. We also believe in collaboration between the federal government and the Nevis Island administration in the best interest of the people of Nevis and of the people of the Federation as a whole, based on the Constitution of the Federation and on best governance practices. And finally, unifying our people of the Federation towards a common good for the benefit of all. In conclusion, the Team Unity Administration, with its partner, PLP, will continue to achieve as much as we possibly can. It is under our leadership of our Prime Minister that this government in 2015 was able to achieve so much, but there is still so much more to be done. As we recover from the devastating pandemic, now more than ever, our country needs to unify to put our economy back on track for the benefit of all. This convention is about highlighting our plans for the future, demonstrating our plan to deliver for our country, to deliver for our people by working together as one team. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tuckett. And just before we move on, I would like to recognize Ambassador Michael O. Powell here with us this afternoon. All right, I'm now going to ask the press to join us at the unveiling of the convention theme on my right. So we're all going to move over, and the Prime Minister, our political leader, and our deputy political leader will unveil our convention theme for 2022. And while they're going, after which our national party leader will address us. All right, it's Convention 2022, delivering for the people. This is what PLP is about. Always putting people first, delivering for the people. All right, at this point in time, help me to welcome our national party leader and Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris.
Thank you very much, National Party Chairman, Mr. Warren Thompson. Good afternoon to all who are listening and tuning to this important press conference of the People's Labour Party. Allow me, of course, to recognize at here table our Deputy Party Leader and Minister of Health et al., the Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet, elected member for the people of St. Christopher III, our National Secretary and our Communications Director. I recognize also His Excellency Ambassador Michael Powell and all other officers of the party. I am happy to make some remarks about our upcoming convention. This is a convention of the Federation's dynamic and progressive People's Labour Party, which I have the honor and privilege to lead. I want to join the National Chairman in an invitation to all to participate in the public events of this great national party, which are slated for the period 19th to the 27th of March, 2022. Our convention is constitutionally mandated to be held on or before the 31st of March each year. And we will fulfill this requirement by while observing all necessary protocols, particularly the observation of health protocols. This year's convention, in my view, could not come at a more important time for our country. We are at a turbulent point in world history. Nothing is certain anymore, and we have to be able to respond quickly to unfolding global and regional events, some of which will continue to impact us negatively. Far removed as we are physically from Ukraine, Russia's invasion has created instability in supply chains and increased our vulnerabilities. It is against this backdrop that we will go into this year's convention with a laser focus on what a party in government should be doing, working and delivering for the people. Putting people first and delivering for the people. That is the theme and focus of our 2022 convention as outlined here. Delivering for the people. We believe that by working together with our team unity partners, we can continue to deliver even more benefits to all the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Key on our delivery must be to put the economy back on track with resultant jobs and opportunities for all the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have been looking ahead, and in this regard, we passed the 2022 budget, which will help us to strengthen our economy. We will continue to support projects to expand economic growth, put our people to work in sustainable jobs, enhance the status of our indigenous institutions so that they can become even more significant drivers of economic growth. Our investment in our people must lead to increased production and productivity in all sectors of our economy. We will shortly commence the NHC housing program, allowing more families to enjoy the benefits of home ownership and a better quality of life. The government, of course, cannot build all the homes required, so we will incentivize and support our credit unions and other financial institutions to build more homes and, of course, to offer them on affordable terms to our people. Yes, we made the commitment in our 2022 budget that we will regularize our STEP and GAE workers. Our civil servants are working hard with officials at STEP to ensure this happens shortly. A promise made is a promise we will deliver. Yes, we have been preparing for the safer future. And that is why, as part of our future program for the development of St. Kitts and Nevis, we have put great store on the digital economy. And as we speak, the cable is providing significant initiatives for the build-out of fiber to home and a variety of other programs that would put St. Kitts and Nevis at the leading edge. The cable, laying fiber cable, the high-speed internet island-wide, the fiber to home for more reliability, and of course, we have plans for a major data center as we build out our digital infrastructure. Even as we discuss, and over the next couple of days going into our convention, we will focus on the future. The past is already gone, and only the future we can consecrate. In that regard, as we deal with the global challenges, the necessity to move into renewable energy becomes quite clear. Thankfully, we have always been a proactive government, and in this regard, we have already laid the foundation for the largest solar farm to be located in St. Kitts, and that project we hope to move forward in the not-too-distant future, reducing our dependence on fossil fuel. Yes, it's about the future sustainability of St. Kitts and Nevis. And in this regard, sustainable energy will loom large. What else in the arena of sustainable energy, wind and geothermal? We will have to increase our participation in these two important areas. As we look to the future, our children and their future will be at the stage of the continuing build-out and sustainability of our St. Kitts and Nevis economy. We will emphasize STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And indeed, these will now feature among the priority needs for every boy and girl wanting to go abroad to study. Indeed, the Team Unity government, of which the PLP is a vibrant partner, has been thinking about how we shall deliver the promised stronger and safer future. We appreciate that even as we speak, there are a number of persons who are still having a difficult time as a result of the devastation of the COVID-19 pandemic to all spheres of life. And so helping the poor and vulnerable in our country to maintain their dignity. We do this because the PLP stands for an improved quality of life for all of our people. So as we approach our convention, our celebratory events, which will extend beyond a week, will kick off with a health walk this Saturday, March 19, As usual, the starting point will be at the Bellevue bus stand, and we get started promptly at 5:30 a.m. The health walk will culminate at the Utley's Hard Court, where a healthy breakfast will be served. I encourage those who can to participate because physical activities are good for you. We will worship on Sunday the 20th in West Barstow, starting at 9 a.m. And our focus on the youth will be reflected in a youth event to be held on Friday, 25th at the Newtown Playfield. And of course, the most important item on our calendar is the public session of our convention, and this is carded for Saturday, the 26th of March at the Patsy Allers playing field. Details on these events and more will be unveiled at a later date. Our extended week of activity will be one to remember, a week of celebration of democracy and good governance at work, a week of celebration of our party, which is the party of national unity and inclusion. I invite again all persons to join us in this celebration, and I look forward to seeing all of you here and out there listening and viewing. Our communications director gave a brief perspective about the genesis of the People's Labour Party. It is well known that our party was born out of struggles for good governance, the protection of our people's patrimony, and for more inclusive economic policies, which provide our people with access to more opportunities. Hence, our support for initiatives like the Fresh Start program for small businesses, special mortgages. Evidence abounds that our participation in the political system has brought unprecedented benefits, such as enhanced peace and security. I want us to give our law enforcement officers a special round of applause. Well deserving. We have experienced the most significant reduction in homicides in over 20 years. We have seen the expansion of social programs to protect the poor and vulnerable. We have seen, for example, the Hurricane Relief Program, popularized as the ROOF Program, help over 3,000 households. We have seen how important the PAP, which we started way back, I think in 2018, has been. And for many people, this plus our income support program have helped them to survive during a period of prolonged unemployment. Our People's Labour Party clearly has always been and will continue to be about people, and we shall always put the people of St. Kitts and Nevis first. Because we are concerned about people, why we have introduced 3 stimulus packages, and in each of them, we provided for an income support element, $1,000 per month for families. Thousands of our people have been able to benefit because we are concerned about people, their quality of life, their rehabilitation, their having second chances. We promoted and instituted the peace program that have brought our sons and daughters back to responsible living. We are very pleased of these accomplishments and achievements. Equally, we are pleased that out of our national security, we broke new ground in the organization of the Explorers Youth Club, the largest organized youth group in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, with over 1,200 young people engaged in productive learning, training, and preparation for the future. Yes, these have been focused on empowering our people and have brought benefits to thousands in St. Kitts and Nevis. Yes, you can count on team unity, and you can count on my leadership, proven leadership for the country, in good times and in bad times. Steady leadership for our country, in good times and in challenging times. Focused leadership, calm and exemplary leadership that our country needed will always be provided by yours truly, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. Yes, in the midst of the storm of the COVID-19 pandemic, leadership mattered most. And leadership we delivered to the people of this country and to the region. Today, we have one of the best records in the management of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is not by mere coincidence. Leadership does in fact matter. Our leadership and stewardship in the darkest hour of our country is well appreciated by those of our citizens at home here and abroad, and by others looking on. PAHO, the CDB, the IMF, the World Bank, all have noted our distinguished leadership in the most challenging period of world history in the last 100 years. Give yourselves a round of applause. Our leadership has been to what others look to find examples of best practices to implement in their own country. And as we speak with relief now that we are moving St. Kitts and Nevis out of the shadow of the dreaded COVID-19 pandemic, I want to place and record my gratitude to our deputy leader of the party, the Honorable Keela Byron Nisbet, our Minister of Health, and her team for their sterling performance in responding to the COVID-19 pandemic. And in this regard, too, I want to ask for a round of applause for those on the National Task Force. They have all, working together in the all-of-society approach, delivered St. Kitts and Nevis from what could have well been the knockout punch of the COVID-19 pandemic. And to all of the citizens and residents who took their sage advice, followed and observed the protocol, I want to say thank you very much. I want to commend the Honorable Keela Byron Nisbet for being the first female to run, and not just run and win in constituency number 3. I thank all the people in constituency number 3 for their full support. And I say to them that we in the People's Labour Party will never, never take their support for granted. The PLP will continue to promote, thank you very much, a deputy essential. The PLP will continue to promote a laser-like focus on our people's needs and aspirations as a committed partner in Team Unity. We will continue delivering for our people, delivering with love, with care and consideration. We will build and advocate unity in all aspects of life, because unity is not just about and among political parties. Unity is a method of organizing societies to ensure that each and everyone feels a part of the society. Each is endeavoring, each is achieving. So unity will have within the political system. We want to see more of it within the religious community, within the sporting fraternity, and of course in all areas of socio-economic life. Unity has been at the center of our success as a party and a government, and so we stand firm in unity as a people. Speaking of unity, it is well known that our party, the People's Labour Party, is an all-inclusive party. As one banner said, we welcome all. We welcome persons from all walks of life, and we allow in our party all ideas to contend, because out of each idea we can learn something. Each idea, every viewpoint is acknowledged and distilled to ensure that we can get the best end product for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. In a nutshell, our growth and development over the last couple of years have been occasioned by the knowledge that the PLP is a national party with party structures in place everywhere in service to the citizens and residents of our country of St. Kitts and Nevis. This has been the case since our inception, and this has worked for the benefit of the Team Unity movement. We saw PLP at work giving support to our partners in all constituencies in St. Kitts and Nevis. All constituencies. We were there. You were there. Canvassers, indoor agents, outdoor agents, you were there. Because we believe in unity. We use all of our resources to advance the cause of unity. And where others were weak, we made them strong. where they were weak, we made them strong because we believed in unity. And we have therefore always been there for our brothers and sisters. The record is quite clear. At one thank you service in Sandy Point, the party leader, the Honorable Sean Richards, complimented Mills and others of the People's Labour Party for their work and their support. Mr. Mills is here. We have always had structures everywhere because the People's Labour Party has always been about people working, championing the cause of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Everywhere. Everywhere. And we have never been a passive movement. We have always been an active movement, doing and doing and doing. I recall fondly my walkthrough in several constituencies. I recall fondly our efforts in number 1. Kante, you will remember. I recall our efforts in number 2 from Prickly Alley, Fort Thomas Road, as we went house to house and Shadwell, as we organized our groups and said, go and give the brother a helping hand because we are a team unity construct. I remember because I, as leader of the team, has always been there. I remember going all the way back in 2015 election when the laborers were few in number 4. We took 2 bus loads of our people from number 7 to canvass Old Road and the rest of the constituency to deliver it for the team unity movement. Our existence as a party was never a threat, was never a competition. It represented a consolidation of the efforts of the team to bring home the victory for all of us. And we played our part. As we did in 2015, please, we will do again. Every time, because we are part of a team unity. That is what we are. In number 4, in 2020, it was the same. I know the people by name because I was there. And you are there with me. And I want to say thank you to the special people in number 7 who gave me space and time to go everywhere and to be everywhere because number 7 has always been strong and always allowed me, as it were, to go give thy brother and thy sister the support. I recall one night we were way up in St. Peter's providing support for my dear friend and brother. When many people doubted that number 8 would come home, we were there and I was there working to bring it home. Working to bring it home. From the high hills of St. Peter's to the valley of Cunningham in Keyon, Dr. Harris and his party and its structures were there working to bring victory for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. For us, it has always been more than party, even more than unity. It has always been about what is best for our country of St. Kitts and Nevis. And that is why we have worked so hard. And I will never look back to this work with regret. I did what was necessary as a citizen and as the leader of Team Unity movement to advance the cause of my country. And I look forward to doing it again on behalf of Team Unity. The short point then is that the growth and development of the People's Labour Party has always been helpful to the broader whole of Team Unity. Indeed, every candidate under the Team Unity banner benefited from the strength, the organization, and the support of the People's Labour Party. We work as a team in unity, and we say thank you too to those of our partners who contributed their support to the effort, because we are all in this together. I want to thank the increasing number of persons who are actively supporting Team Unity and the People's Labour Party in particular. And I want to say thank you to all for their efforts so far as we continue to prepare for our upcoming convention. I look forward to participate in all of the events that are slated on the calendar, and I encourage everyone to come and enjoy. So come Saturday, no one at home who is able. Everyone must come to Blackrock. Blackrock, Bellevue. Same thing for some people. That is where we will start. And we will end at Atlas on the Hard Court, and we'll provide you with a little drink, with some fruits, and whatever else the Minister of Health claims is healthy. We are one people, one destiny. We may have differences about how we will reach the destination, but we must focus. We must focus and we must remain united, because the things that unite us are greater than the things that divide us. And you know, I want to end with Psalms 133. For the Bible can't be wrong. Bible, lesson, and message, they are for all times. How blessed it is for brethren, and I add on this piece, sistren, to dwell together in unity. It is a blessing. And so, as I say a final word, it is a word of thank you to the faithful, active supporters of the People's Labour Party and Team Unity, who have done so much to bring us to this point where we could look to the future with hope. Hope that no matter the darkest night, we know that the tomorrow will be better than today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. Convention 22, delivering for the people. And when our leader speaks, the nation listens. All right. Help me welcome at this point in time our Deputy National Party Leader, the Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Delivering for the people. How much more you can say after such a powerful message from our party leader? I wish to adopt the protocol so ably established, save to acknowledge our political leader and Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, and the executive members of the People's Labour Party. I am so proud and so pleased to be here today with you. Today is the start of lots of celebrations throughout this coming week. And I look forward, definitely looking forward, to welcoming all of you to the beautiful West Bastille Constituency number 3 for PLP's Convention 2022. As articulated by the Prime Minister, our week is packed with celebratory events, which kicks off, of course, with our health walk. He's already encouraged you, and I'm doing it again. Please come out on Saturday in your orange numbers. On Sunday, we worship at the Rivers of Living Waters Christian Center, welcoming you again to West Bastille. And the service starts at 9 a.m. And of course, you know, it is true PLP fashion that we must always give honor and praise to our God. For without him, we are nothing. And so PLP always makes sure that in whatever we do, God is first, God is middle, God is last, God is all around us. On the 25th, I know our PLP youths have something very special in store. I've been listening to all of their planning activities, and I for sure am looking forward to that event as well. As you know, PLP, many persons as well say, we have a good mix. And there's quite a number of persons, young persons in particular, who are part of the People's Labour Party. And so this event on the 25th is just for you. But we want to make sure you get home on time so that you're well rested to come with us on Saturday at the Patsy Alice playing field for convention. So don't work up yourself too much on the 25th, because all of you must be present under the big orange tent on the 26th at the Patsy Alice playfield. Now I'm here today in my capacity as the national deputy political leader of this great party, the People's Labour Party. And before I go any further, I want to pay tribute to our Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. He leads us as our Prime Minister. He leads us as our national political party leader. And I must add, the leading force behind Team Unity. One thing about our leader is that he always tells our party, we do everything in our power to support the team. And that is leadership. And that we continue to entrust in him as our great leader. And so, of course, as being the leading force behind Team Unity, he reminds us, we are always reminded, putting people first. And not just putting people first. It was unveiled today. We must deliver for the people, for all of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And we must never forget that. Even as we sit and make decisions for our country, it is about the people, and it must always be about the people. Now, in West Basti, I can give you examples of how we have been delivering for the people. Promise made, we will fix the water issue in Trinity Heights. Promise delivered. Promise made. We will ensure that the sewage issue at JNF is fixed so that the people of Limekeel does not have to deal with that sewage problem. Promise made, promise kept. We promised the people of Lagreet that we will develop the Lagreet area. And I'm happy to say that that work have already begun. That is how you keep your promises. That is how you put people first. That is how you deliver for the people. As we continue to recover from the pandemic, my focus, our focus, PLP's focus as members of Team Unity is on improving our communities. Now is the time for us to work together. Continue putting people first so that we can work as one unified team and deliver for our country, for our people. Our plan to deliver for our country and to deliver for the people have been well articulated. But we can only achieve this by working together as one team. And so I look forward to speaking to every one of you again in constituency number 3 as we proudly host the 6th National Convention of our inclusive People's Labour Party. And I urge everyone in my constituency and the wider federation to join us at our various events from the 19th to 27th March, and to come spend time with us on the afternoon of Saturday, March 26th, as we host our 6th annual convention. And as the Prime Minister said before, we welcome all, because that is who we are. We are the People's Labour Party. We believe in putting people first. And we always remember it's about delivering for the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet. Okay, at this time we're going to have question and answers. And we're asking that as you approach the mic, please state your name and the media house that you are representing.
Good evening, Glenn Buck, SKN Newsline. Mr. Leader of PLP, now you have portrayed tonight a very positive aspect of PLP supporting the Team Unity structure. However, since last year's conventions, leading up into this year's convention of the People's Action Movement, there seemed to be a sense of conflict from the public perspective as to whether or not the Team Unity structure is breaking apart or not. There is this
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, Lashawn Dixon. Good afternoon, Lashawn Dixon, St. Kitts and Nevis Observer. My question is for Prime Minister Dr. Harris. Since your administration has been in office, has any member of cabinet brought anything to the cabinet regarding fair share for Nevis?
Good evening, Buckingham Media. Just want to congratulate you first on your theme this year, delivering for the people. What can we expect more of PLP, seeing that you have laid out a number of things here that you have already accomplished, such as the income support and housing? So again, what more can we expect of Team Unity delivering for the people?
Jason Davis. Jason Davis, ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation. Is the People's Labour Party planning to field more candidates in the next election?
All right, we have had 4 so far, and at this time we'll have your questions answered, and we'll call on the Prime Minister.
Thank you very much. One of the questions posed was whether the unity structure is intact. Last time I checked, unity was intact. Unity is the promise and hope for St. Kitts and Nevis. It is intact. When I think of unity, I think about people. Unity was born long before political parties had taken it up. Political parties normally operate within their narrow circle. The people of St. Kitts and Nevis determined that that was a system of political organization of the past, and they wish no longer to be in political tribes. They wish to come together, organize as one people for the benefit of the country as a whole. That is what gave rise to community. And when you listen to the people who speak, you hear whether they are PAM, they are PLP, they are CCM, they will tell you that their preference is for team unity. So long as unity lives in the hearts and the minds of our people, the unity structure is intact. Because at the end of the day, it is the people who will determine the political outcome. And I am confident, based on my knowledge of the political landscape, that unity is strong. I look at all the WhatsApp I've had since my speech, and I am vindicated in that belief. The people of St. Kitts and Nevis want team unity. And everything else will fall in place. That is how it was. I told the story that one day the political leaders were at a certain location on 4th Street. And one eminent gentleman said to us, "You know, you all are in here, crossing I's and dotting T's and discussing this." He said, "But the campaign is already won." And we looked at him in amazement. And we said, "How do you mean the campaign already won?" He said, "If you all move out of in here and just walk from the circus to the head of 4th Street, the campaign is over. That is all the people want to see. You all come together and demonstrate that you are prepared to work together in unity." The people who were pulling and, as it were, advocating unity in the first instance were not politicians. They were ordinary people like Mr. Politics, Radical Culture, Jam Down, and others. And as you went through the highways and byways, you recognize that that was the prevalent view. We began doing polling since 2013, and every poll that we did in this country indicated that the majority of the people in St. Kitts and in Nevis were supportive of team unity. If a poll was done tomorrow, the result will be the same. So that answers the question about unity. The question of pushing for a third term, I'm not sure why this is even in a conversation. We have just come out of an election. We are still working our way through the pandemic, and every person involved in decision-making ought to be focused on one thing at this point in time: the future of our people, keeping them safe, keeping them strong, putting the country back to work again so our farmers can earn more, our fisher folks can live and feed their family. That is what our attention should be on. Elections are not due till 2025. I don't even know what will happen tomorrow, even tonight. And we are focused on a political agenda when the focus really should be on the people. And my view on that had been made abundantly clear time and time again. Time and time again. And I've never said anything contrary to what the statements I've made publicly. So there's no need for a conversation about third term. I have never spoken on a third term. There's no record anywhere about Timothy Harris speaking on a third term. And I therefore will have nothing to say about it, because I am concerned about utilizing the opportunity that God has given me for such a time like these to lead us safely and properly for such a time like these. And so I'm not caught up with that. Other persons are free to express their view on that. My view has been spoken, and I have not altered that view. Have not. The question of the fair share, no one, for the record, has ever brought to the cabinet the issue of the fair share. There is no cabinet submission, no cabinet memo in relation to that. There have been public expressions of it, but it has never come into the cabinet over which I preside up to this particular moment in time. I would want just to say one thing, because I intend to address this in a substantive way. And I didn't intend to address it now. That is why I did not put that in my speech. But somehow there appears to be the view that is Dr. Harris, whose father is an Evision and whose mother is a Kittitian, somehow want not to give somebody their fair share. Nothing further than the truth. Indeed, if the truth be told, every arrangement which we have made in relation to allocations to Nevis, they have come after presentations have been made to me by the premiers of Nevis in regard to this matter. Premier Amri came, we had a discussion over what he had proposed, what he thought then was reasonable. When Premier Amri left the political scene, Premier Brantley came, made a proposal to me. We had a discussion, and I agreed after consultation with our experts about the sustainability of the program that we will undertake to increase the allocation to Nevis by 50%. 50%, a dramatic increase from $30 million where there was none, zero before, to $45 million. 50%. I have never been unreasonable with respect to this matter. I have a federal responsibility, and I have the laws of the land to help guide me and the technical advice to guide me. Those arrangements have always stood and have never been interfered with. But it's only part of the story, because if the full story been told every year, beyond what has been agreed, proposed by the premiers of Nevis, and accepted by me through discussion, we have always given Nevis more. You must bear in mind that there are programs which we introduce, which we implement on the island of Nevis. And those programs are being paid for, not out of the allocations that we send over, but out of the federal resource. So in addition to the 30 million then, the 45 million, then we have to pay millions of dollars for the step workers over in Nevis, for example. We have to pay millions of dollars to our citizens in Nevis who are on the path. We have to pay for the peace program in Nevis, managing Nevis. And in addition to all these, in fact, we pay for pharmaceutical supplies because it is one country. And so when the medicines and all of these are needed, the bill comes to the federal entity and we pay them. Because if we do not pay, and perchance we were to get in arrears, then the entire country will be affected. We haven't been making a song and dance about this because it is not my style as a leader to engage in public discussion over matters that ought to be dealt with in the confines of our office. It is not my style, and I will not begin to do that. But you have to understand the context, because that aspect has never been told. Never been told. And it has never been told, and the result of it is to create a perception that somebody is being unreasonable or somebody is being unfair. Not me at all. I have always listened. I've always tried to make the right decision, not relying only on my wisdom, but the wisdom of persons who have been in government for a very, very long time. And I would wish, and I've been saying this to the premiers, let us get the experts, because perhaps if I were to do something, somebody will say, well, you have your agenda. If you were to say something, let's get an independent person of acceptable repute, internationally, regionally, to come in and to look at what we are doing and give us advice on the way forward. For me, this is critically important. If we were to have an enduring settlement for a period of time, we must not lose sight of the fact that Clause 110 of the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and it sets out how monies are to be distributed within the federal entity and the Nevis Island administration. That is part of what we have to contend with when we attempt to do things. And there is some wisdom in the formula that has been outlined by the founding fathers. In it, they recognize you can't just look at revenue. The founding fathers say if you want to do a proper allocation, you have to look at the costs. And it makes sense, because you can't have revenue without expending resources to get the revenue. And therefore, that has to be deducted before you could make a determination about what portion will go there of the net. It's simple. That's how we work in corporation. Gross, net. Gross, revenues, cost of sales. So you can't just come and look at the revenue, because sometimes you have to spend a lot. Marketing, traveling, staff operation, all those are critical elements in determining, in the end, the net result. That is what is important. It's a critical point to understand. So I don't want to get in the conversation that somebody say, well, give me a percentage of this revenue. What about the cost? And if it is a sustainable way, because let's just imagine one day that revenue doesn't exist anymore. What is it then? Is that there will be nothing? Is that there will be nothing? But beyond that, going back to section 110, it says that we also, in making determinations about what ought to go to St. Kitts and Nevis from the net, take into consideration that there are certain expenses which falls under the federal umbrella, and they have to be prorated in some way. So for example, the fire services, the police force, somebody has to pay for them. The federal government has to pay for them. But the Constitution says that these shared services, if you will, have also to take part in the accounting of the distribution. And that formula had worked maybe for a year or two. You need to understand and do the research why he ended. Was it the federal entity who said, I don't want no more 110? Or was it the NIA which said that then, and why? And all I am asking for is let us do the right thing by the people, do the right thing by the Constitution, get the expertise, and therefore we could have this kind of discussion no more, because it will be settled properly. I will tell you this, up to maybe last week, the Premier wrote to me, or in January, and we had an exchange of letters regarding a request that he had made for a further increase in the amounts. I wrote back to the Premier and I said, Premier, I would like to meet with you next week to discuss these further. And while I agree in principle that we can make an interim payment, we need to have this looked at in a permanent way. Because we can't come after budget have already done and planned, and we come and we say, we need this, we need that. Because it creates some awkwardness at the level of our management of the resources of the state. And so, to me, if we could get it done properly, that it would help us in the medium and the long term. Every now and again, we will have to do review because things will change. Things will change. But we want to do it fairly. So I just want to say there's a lot of work to be done. I said, let us discuss this matter. Because the matter in which we were doing it, in my view, would not lead to the best results. Sometimes you have to go back to the people and they say, Prime Minister, this is a substantial movement. It will affect our evaluation. I say, yes, I understand that. But the people of Nevis today, government has made this request. And how could I be so bad in denial when every leader in the Nevis Island has said that they have had the best time, the best opportunity, the best support under federal government led by Dr. Timothy Harris? It is not fair. It is not fair. And so for us to deal with it properly, we must get the independent people to come and look at all aspects of it, so that we are fair to the people of St. Kitts, essentially, and fair to the people on the island of Nevis. For my part, I will continue to work. The Premier made a request to increase the budgetary support from $45 million to $66 million. And that request came after we had closed our budget. And I am not indifferent to his request. I am not. But I said we need to have a discussion to put it in a long term, a more sustainable basis, so that we could be effective in planning, because we do not know for certainty how the life and the turnout of the program will be from year to year. So 1 year you could look very good, as we did last year. We knocked board, thank God for that. And we're prepared to do some consideration. But what we just heard, we just had to ban Russians, which was the perhaps second or third important market for our program. We just, as a result, no wrongdoing in St. Kitts, no wrongdoing in Nevis. The outcome of the Russian invasion in Ukraine, and the international community says, do no business with these people who are sanctioned. And they required of us and others to do more than so. And so it means for a while, Russians would not be able to participate in our program. So even our projections for this year, if that ban is prolonged, will be significantly impacted. And that is why the need for reasonableness by all of us in government and in the society at large. And that is why these conversations ought properly to be held together in the office with our technical teams and support staff and with other people. And then we come to the country and we say, this is what we have agreed. That is what we really want with that formula. So no, the fair share have never been brought as a substantive matter or in any form really into my cabinet. But I've heard things being said in public about it. And from my view and from my knowledge, it really should not be done that way. And I would say the experience with Premier Emery had never been that way. He would have always come, he would speak with me, he would bring his letter, we have a discussion, etc., and we do what we can. I am mindful of history. I have said in my writings to the Premier, listen, it will be a historic achievement, having regard to what happened. No government, no federal government. People can talk the talk, but they have not walked the walk like our Team Unity government has done it. One federal government bounced the check for the NIA. That would never happen under us. We intervene with our banks in support of the NIA. That has been our record. And we will continue to do so because we are one people. And I want the best for our people on the island of St. Kitts. And I want the best for the people, my people on the island of Nevis. I get as much love and affection from the people on the island of Nevis as I get on St. Kitts. I have no bias. My family up there is large and growing. Large and growing. So I have no ill will. I love Nevis and I love St. Kitts. I am one man who can't countenance secession, for that is going to force you to make a choice when I can't make a choice. It's like the story in the Bible, to whom does the child belong? Well, cut it in two then, and then we will know. No. You can't do that. Can't do that, and that is the message. I want us to work calmly and sensibly and responsibly as a Team Unity administration. And let us work internally those things that ought properly to be worked internally, because these matters are complex. They're not as simple as they may look. Our work in them have made them simple. But you must ask yourself, why for 30-something years, since about 1985, there have been no movement on the Section 110 of the Constitution? As good as we are told relationships were, why? Why? But as soon as Team Unity came, we got a difference. And we are now talking about budgetary support and all the other things that we are doing. That was part of the beautiful history I wanted as team leader to create between the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And we still have time to do that. I have no animosity, no malice. My upbringing is different to the upbringing of others. My grandmother taught me that we should never watch dirty linen in public. Mercury never had much private space because we didn't have no wall fence. But that is what she taught us anyway. You try to carry that to the back. Nobody must get into that. In terms of the planning for candidates, again, I think we are trying to look for confusion where there is none. I have made it clear that the People's Labour Party is a national party with a presence everywhere, and have outlined for the avoidance of doubt that that reality has lived and operated for the benefit of all the candidates of Team Unity. Once a candidate has been determined for a constituency, there is no contest. There is no contest. We put all our resources in support of them. That is what we did in 2015. That is what we did in 2020. And that is what we will do in 2025 or whenever is the next election. Because we believe in the concept of unity. But we are a party. We are an active party. You can't say to a party that you can't have a group. Nobody can say that. I can't say to the PAM party, well, don't go and do nothing up in West Bastille, because they are a party. They have a structure. I would expect that the activities will not lead to confusion. So, for example, if we have our own breakfast today by this, they're not outside the next gate with a breakfast day. They choose another week or another day. That is how you operate. But you are party. And nobody with common sense will attempt to stop you from doing what a party should be doing. Nobody will do that or ask that of you. It is unfair and it is unreasonable. What we will expect is that we find a mechanism that is fair to and reasonable to determine the best candidates that will run under the banner of team unity. Once we have the best candidates, team unity has the strongest chance of returning to government. And that is what we hope over time our structures and our cooperation will allow us to do. I think those were the questions. What can we expect from PLP? Well, I outlined some of these in terms of the future. I would want to use the actual convention to go more in elaboration of them. I talk about, for example, the digital economy. I will explain how that will flesh out. We have been talking and we have seen, for example, that what we have been able to do in this small country in terms of digitalization has been second to none to the rest of the world. We have built out a number of hotspots all over St. Kitts and Nevis. Every community center now has free Wi-Fi. Every child then has access to the opportunity to log on if necessary. In Bastille, we have hotspots in Independence Square and 4th Street and Church Street and several other locations as part of that strategy. We are trying to make our participation more resilient by attaching fiber to homes, giving you the best reliability that is available. And I said that we are going to establish in data centers. Data centers now are critical for protection of data, storage against adversity, providing backup, big money in that particular area. And Team Unity has a plan for that. Already we have committed over $1 million to assist with the build-out of the first state-of-the-art data center for St. Kitts and Nevis, bringing high-level paying jobs. And Minister Keeler Byron Ministry is responsible for bringing that to St. Kitts and Nevis as quickly as possible. We talk about the future. We talk about energy. Everyone now is bawling about the price of gas. Luckily, our government, because we are infused with compassion and caring and consideration in delivery, we introduced the fuel support, where the busmen and the taxi people get $400 every month since we started the program last year. We did that to help cushion the cost, and as it will minimize the impact upon you, the consumer. We know that Bucky in his heart is a farmer, and yes, we want to do more. You have been one who will call in regularly about the stimulus program. We know you have good quality pork, and we want to make it cheaper, less costly, for you to be able to produce and to trade and provide us healthy products in terms of meat and all the other areas in which you are engaged. So the farmers are in our plan. Right now, we are doing significant work costing millions of dollars in Old Road. Next up, we will go to Deep Bay, creating appropriate facilities for the fisher folks and by extension, the people of the country. Yes, the future still looks bright. Still looks bright. But we are mindful that any day a bad wind can blow and the winds are outside of our control. What we have to do then, rather than having arguments, is to come bring our minds together, our technical people at home and abroad, to consider how we could get a larger pie. Then we won't have to be arguing about the small pie. Lord, I want this, I want that. We have to make it so big that everybody really can get a satisfactory share of what is there in the country. And we have to manage well, because when the bad wind comes, or the hurricane comes, or the typhoon comes, you have to have something to respond. And had we not saved for the rainy day, what would have happened? We'd have gone begging at people's door to keep our civil service intact. Of all the governments around the world, we perhaps is the only government that didn't lay off our workers for 2 years during a pandemic. And when God blessed us, we paid a double salary. Paid a double salary, unexpected. It was like a double Christmas. Christmas came early in St. Kitts. We did that because we govern with compassion and understanding of the situations of the people in St. Kitts and Nevis. And we paid the double salary not only to those of you here in St. Kitts, but to those in Nevis. I think it's some $10 million we paid over in Nevis for persons on the NIA payroll and on 1 or 2 of the statutory corporations. So we have been fair and we have been reasonable in relation to this matter. I think basically those are the questions, and I hope that we have given a response. But even from my speech, I want you to take away that the People's Labour Party, we live unity every day. If we had not lived unity every day, we would not have won the second time around. We would not have won the second time around. It was a coordinated effort at all angles, drawing on all the resources, and the People's Labour Party doing its full part that led to that victory on behalf of the people. And that is why I'm more concerned about whether unity lives in the hearts of the people, because ultimately every politician has to go back to the people. You lend them their vote, I said during the election. Lend them your vote. And if they don't do good, call it back. Call it back. They must be seen to be working in the spirit of unity. And we must be honest in representing the people. And let them know sometimes, because our people are not stupid, things are difficult, it can't be done. There's no need to scapegoat anybody. Speak to the reality, and our people understand. Throughout my political career, and I ended this, going since 93 until now, somebody do the mathematics. Alex, you're a mathematician, accountant. But you add that up. You get 7, give you 2,000, you're in 22, 29, going to 30 years. I have always learned to trust the people. Trust the people. When I came back in 1993 to contest the election against an incumbent, the election had already been called. But I trusted the people, and I won the election in every box in the constituency. Thanks to the people of number 7. I went to study and I trusted the people, and I came home in 95, victory again. I trust my people, and in 2000, victory again. 2004, victory again. 2010, victory again. 2015 perhaps was the hardest battle. Pass to the wind. I wouldn't say like what, but who God bless. Who God bless. And when persons thought that was a fluke, we had a replay. And in 2020, the best outcome, Harris again. So I recommit again to the Team Unity construct to work with all the Team Unity partners for the good of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. I am conscious that I'm only there for a season, but for this time, God has chosen me for a purpose, to serve for such a time like this. And with the help of the people, I promise and I pledge to do the very best I can for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis and for this country I love. Thank you very much for coming. You must close at this time.
Thank you very much. We will end now, and thank you for coming, and those of you listening via the social media, radio, thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday morning, 5 a.m. at Bellevue. 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, I'm told. But anyway, get there between 5 and 6. All right, thank you, and we look forward to seeing you.
There you had it, folks. It was the PLP's press conference here on WINNFM 90.9. Up next, we got the WINNFM News and Sports package.
You found